Today is day 69 of the podcast, and what I want to talk about today is possession of the land based on Israel's and our capacity. I'm going to read to you from Deuteronomy chapter 7, starting at verse 16. And you shall consume all of the peoples whom the Lord your God will deliver to you. Your eye shall not pity them, neither shall you serve their gods, for that would be a snare to you. If you should say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them. You shall well remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt. The great trials which your eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand and the outstretched arm, by which the Lord your God brought you out. So shall the Lord your God do to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet against them until those who are left and hide themselves from you perish. You shall not dread them, for the Lord your God is in your midst, a great and awesome God. And the Lord your God will clear away these nations before you, little by little. You will not be able to put an end to them quickly, lest the wild beasts grow too numerous for you. But the Lord your God shall deliver them before you and will throw them into great confusion until they're destroyed. So possession for Israel was based on Israel's ability to apprehend and appropriate what had been given to them. Pay close attention to verse 22. The Lord your God will clear away these nations before you little by little. You will not be able to put an end to them quickly, lest the wild beasts grow too numerous for you. We have to have a capacity to hold and possess what territory we're given, lest it be overtaken again. And we have to be able to depend on the Lord to help us possess that land. So what does that mean for us as the believer? What does it mean for the Christian? And I want to take us to Matthew chapter 25 and the parable of the talents. If this is a parable you're familiar with, then that's good, because I'm only going to read a few verses. If you're not familiar with it, make sure you read the entire parable to get the whole to get the whole story here. But Matthew 25 verses 14 and 15, the beginning of it says, "For it is just like a man about to go on a journey who called his own slaves and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability, and he went on his journey." Now we're kind of familiar with the rest and the parable, that each one exercises the amount, they steward what they've been given, and they double, except for the person who received the 1. But these possessions were entrusted to each one based on their capacity, their ability. And then the results that came, the results came from their obedience. They received based on their capacity. The results were based on their obedience. Increase in fruitfulness came as they received, they believed, they obeyed, they waited. Verse 19 of the parable of the talents says, "Now after a long time the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them." There's a time period in between receiving it and then fulfilling the stewardship, and then there's reward that came. So here's the question. Here's the question for you. And these questions, chew on them a little bit today and see what the response of your heart is. Whenever you hear the word spoken to you, whenever you hear the Lord speak, in prayer, as you're in the scriptures, when you're in a Bible study or listening to a sermon, however the Lord begins to speak to you and you hear and understand His word, what do you do to activate what you heard? And do you understand how to enlarge your capacity?